Hello, this is Les Brown. You have something special. You have greatness within you. You know, in our first conversation together, I talked about the fact that in order to manifest your greatness, you have to have a mindset of optimism. You've got to believe that your goals and dreams are possible. You've got to believe in yourself. You've got to believe in your abilities. You've got to believe in your dream. Now, there's something else. There's another step, and that is you've got to decide that your dream is necessary. See, if you're casual about your dream, you will end up a casualty because there's a price to be paid. You know, many times when I'm speaking to corporations or organizations or multi-level marketing groups, I talk about Dr. Howard Thurman, who was a great man during the time that he walked the planet. He was an advisor to Mahatma Gandhi and to Albert Schweitzer and to Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. Martin Luther King Sr. came to his friend Howard Thurman, who wrote, "Deep is the hunger, the voice of the genuine, the centering moment." And he said, "Howard, I want you to mentor my boy, MLK." 17 years ago, when I was diagnosed with prostate cancer and had 238 radiation seed implants, and my PSA, which stands for prostate-specific antigen, continued to increase. I was up one night reading the words of Dr. Howard Thurman, seeking comfort. You know, one of the things I think doctors should never tell someone they're terminally ill. What they should say is that my ability, my capacity, my knowledge to help you has terminated. Now you need to do something else. And there I was trying to find something to strengthen myself because I was questioning myself in my life and where I was and had I done all that I could do if I had my life to live over. And this grabbed me that night. Howard Thurman wrote, "The ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over." He said, "But imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed and standing around your bed, the ghosts of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life. But you, for whatever reason, you never pursued those dreams. You never acted on those ideas. You never used those talents. You never wrote that book. You never used your voice. We never heard from your leadership. And there they are standing around your bed looking at you with large, angry eyes saying, 'We came to you, and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with you forever.'" And the question is, if you died now, what dreams, what ideas, what abilities, what knowledge, what talents will die with you? Miles Monroe, who's a great preacher and speaker out of Bahamas, said, "The wealthiest place on the planet is not in the Far East where there's oil in the ground. It's not in South Africa where there are diamond mines." He said, "The wealthiest place on the planet is the cemetery, because there you find potential never realized. There you find dreams never pursued. There you find gifts and abilities and artwork and music the world never saw." Maybe that's why Henry David Thoreau asked in a moment of anguish, "What if you live your whole life only to discover that it was wrong? Oh God, to reach the point of death only to realize that you've never lived, only to realize that you never scraped the surface of your potential." One of the things when I'm speaking to audiences, and I'm saying this to you, live full, die empty. There's something in you. You have something. There's something in you. You have greatness within you. There are gifts in you. And to prove it, you were chosen one out of 400 million sperm. God had something in mind. He said, "I want you." And so as you look at your goals and look at your dreams, you've got to say to yourself, it's possible. And you've got to resolve that it's necessary. Yes, you've got to decide it's necessary. When I told my mother, Mama, when I become a man, I'm gonna buy you a home, I said that, I meant that. See, in order to make your dream become a reality, you've got to make a total commitment. Now you say, well, what's the difference between being involved in a dream and commitment? Well, the next time you have bacon and eggs, look at it. The chicken was involved. The pig was committed. He had to give it all up. You got a goal, you got a dream, you've got to decide to give it all up. You've got to decide I'm all in. You've got to decide I'm willing to do whatever is required. I want you to think about your goals. I want you to think about your dream and say to yourself, my dream is necessary. And understand that there's some things that you're going to need. Mental resiliency. I went to Poland, and I went there deliberately. I wanted to go to Auschwitz as I was walking in the place where the Jews were marched in and told they were going to have showers, and they were rigged with gas. And they killed over 1 million Jews there, merely because they were Jews. 70% were executed, 30% had back-breaking labor to do. I can remember the eyes as I was walking down the corridors, looking at the faces of men and women. I remember seeing 2 tons of hair that they cut the hair off them, and their personal belongings. And I remember the words of Viktor Frankl, and he said, the Jews that were able to survive and not lose their minds through the inexpressible cruelties of Nazism had 3 things going for them. And I think it's important when you have goals and dreams. Among the things that he talked about that's very important, he said they either had some loved one that they were determined to see. Who is it that you love, that you care about, that you want to do something special for, like I wanted to do for my mother, that God took me out of my biological mother's womb and placed me in the heart of my adopted mother. I feel like Abraham Lincoln, who said, all that I am and all that I ever hope to be, I owe to my mother. Who is it? Who is that? And he said the other ones are ones who believed in God. What force do you believe in? And the third, ones who had some cause bigger than themselves. But at the end of the day, what he was talking about, he said, if you know the why for living, you got to have a reason for your goal, for your dream that's bigger than you, that it will give you mental stamina. You got to have a reason. Nietzsche said, if you know the why for living, you can endure almost any how. You should be willing to do whatever it takes. And you're gonna have some tough times. You're gonna go through some tough times. I remember bathing in the sink down the hall in the Penobscot building in Detroit, Michigan on the 21st floor when I was building my company. Fell on tough times. Remember hiding in a closet from the janitorial staff when they came to clean the office. We were not allowed to live in the office. See, in the good times, you put it in your pocket. The tough times, you put it in your heart. And I had to keep in mind my dream of taking care of my mother, my dream of giving my kids the option of going to the college of their choice and to be able to graduate and not be burdened with college loans. What's your why? What is it that drives you? I want to give you 5 words. As you think about your goals and dreams, that it's necessary that you write your goals down. It's necessary that you detoxify your life, that you have to look at your life and look at the people in your life. And Jim Rohn said, ask the question, what is this relationship doing to me? See, most people never live their dreams because they are saddled with too many toxic, negative, energy-draining people in their lives. You gotta look at the people around you and ask, is this relationship, is it helping me to grow mentally, emotionally, financially, spiritually? On the financial part, MIT did a study. You earn within $2,000 to $3,000 of your closest friends. It's necessary, if you are serious about your dream, that you detoxify your life. Dr. Dennis Kimbrough out of Atlanta said, if you are the smartest one in your group, you need to get a new group. When I heard that, I got all the broke people out my life. Why? Because people rub off on you. John H. Johnson, who had a loan of $500 from his mother and built a $400 million empire with Ebony Magazine and Jet Magazine, fired his best friend. And the reporter asked him, why'd you fire your best friend? He said, he told me I couldn't do it. He said, hell, I didn't think I could do it. I didn't need anybody on my payroll to tell me. So you have to look at your life and say, hey, who's in my circle? Who's in my ear? It's necessary as you're serious about your goals and dreams, and that's why you're watching me right now, because we're cut from the same cloth. We're branches of the same tree. You know in your heart of hearts you can do more. You know in your heart of hearts you can have more. And it's necessary that you practice a principle of OQP, only quality people. That's it. Only quality people. That's right. You got to be selective of your relationship. There are two types of relationships. There are nourishing relationships and toxic relationships. Nourishing relationships, they bring the best out of you. They challenge you. They stretch you. They hold you accountable. They hold you to a higher standard. Toxic relationships, they drain you. So you need to do some house cleaning. There's some people that you'll never reach your goals as long as they're in your life, because they're going to compromise your energy. I have a friend of mine, she was married for 8 years. Every year she had a surgery of some kind. A friend of mine wrote a book called Who's the Matter with Me? And once I was teaching that class, she was there and she got her divorce. She'd never had another surgery. You know, there's a term in psychiatry called relational illness. Whoa, yes. There's some people who can make you sick. Wow, yes, yes. So the relationships that you have, it's necessary that you evaluate them and understand that you can run faster with 100 who want to go than with one around your neck. Ow. Oh, behave, whatever. I know it's hard, but you can do it. Look at it. Listen, this is no time. The way the economy has changed, there's no time to be around flaky people. No way, Jose. Things have changed. The day is gone where you can go to college and graduate and get a job and work 40 hours a week for 40 years. That day is gone. The 40-40 plan is gone. It's never coming back again. And so, this is no time to be around slackers, okay? So it's necessary. Yeah, your dream is possible, but it's necessary that you clean up your life. Get all the negative, toxic, broke people out of your life. Let's get a full-time job changing yourself. In fact, there's some people that's so negative, they can walk into a dark room and begin to develop. Oh, behave. Whatever. I'm telling you. There's some people that you don't need to take their phone calls. They're people who are perpetually broke. They're not good for you. I'm telling you what I know. Now, here's something else. You must believe your dream is possible. You've got to decide that it's necessary that you surround yourself with supportive, collaborative, achievement-driven relationships. And here's something else. 5 words that changed my life and will change your life. Former President John F. Kennedy decided to take on the most ambitious goal in the history of the world. He said that we're going to the moon. His goal was to beat the Russians there. He made the decision, even though they did not have computers, the technology, didn't even have a budget, didn't know how much it would cost, didn't know what was required in order to make it happen. But he called a news conference and spoke to the world and made the decision to do it on 5 words. And those 5 words, when you decide that your dream is possible, when you decide your dream is necessary, those 5 words will empower you to create a life that will make you proud. He looked to his right to one of the most brilliant scientists of that time and said, "What will it take for us to go to the moon?" And everybody was looking for graphs and being there for weeks or months if necessary to figure out, to argue back and forth. What will it take for us to go to the moon? I remember as a kid, we used to say, "You got as much chance of doing that as a man going to the moon." It was considered impossible. And yet the President of the United States at that time spoke to the world and made a bold proclamation. We're going to the moon in 10 years based upon and encouraged by 5 words. And here are the words. He said, "What will it take for us to go to the moon?" And this scientist said, "The will to do it." That's it. The room was quiet. Everybody looked around. He dropped his pen. The president looked at him. Then he looked at everybody in the room. And I'm sure it was resonating in his mind. What will it take for us to go to the moon? The will to do it. What will it take for you to change your life? The will to do it. What will it take for you to overcome a dismal prognosis that a doctor said you've got 6 months to live? The will to do it. What will it take for you to reinvent yourself? If you've been on a job for 25 or 30 years and they come to you after you've moved your family, you've spent time away from your family and sacrificed for this job and gave them your best, and they said, "We're going in another direction." The will to do it. What will it take when you've gone through bankruptcy? You've lost your home, you've gone through foreclosure. The will to do it. What will it take for you when you've been stripped of everything? When you tried to reach your goal, and you tried it when you were young, and you tried it 5 different times, and the world looked at you and you failed, and then at 64, Diane decided, because she had the will to do it, to swim from Cuba to Key West without a shark cage. How did she do that? She had the will to do it. When she came up on shore, she said, "Never give up on your dream. You're never too old to pursue your dream." And it might appear to be a solo act, but it's teamwork. See, if you have the will to do it, to get the negative people out of your life, to be willing to hold on to your dream through the tough times. You know, Marion White said in life, when you don't have enough courage and insight to know that you have outgrown a situation and life will move on you. I think that a lot of people have been laid off. They've outgrown those jobs, and life stepped in, said, "I have something else for you." Where are you in your life? Where are you in your dream? I'm saying to you, you have gifts in you. I'm saying to you, forget about your years, and your years will forget about you. I'm saying to you, if you're watching me from a hospital bed, if you're sleeping in your car, if you're in a homeless shelter, if you've lost your job, if you woke up one day and ask yourself, "What am I doing here? I never thought this would happen to me." Or someone you thought that you would be with for the rest of your life, when you took the oath, "Until death do us part," and they looked at you and said, "I don't want to do this anymore." How do you come after that? When someone you love dies. And I saw my mother take her last breath. I remember as a kid we'd say, "I want to die before Mama." "Me too, Wesley," because we didn't think we could handle it. How do we come through it? And you lose a loved one. My best friend Boo, I thought we would grow old to be old men together, and he's gone. Together since 2nd grade. How do I go out and motivate and inspire people? 17 years. Cancer is in my body trying to take me out. How do you do that, Les? My staff, how can you continue to laugh and be like a little kid? You little Mickey Mouse watch. I was speaking to a group in Fort Lauderdale, forgot my belt, and I was speaking to this audience. I was rushed downstairs because a speaker didn't come in, and I forgot I didn't have my belt, and I moved suddenly, and my pants fell down to my ankle, and I stood before this audience and looked down and looked at them, and I had on my Mickey Mouse underwear. So I had to stoop down and pick my pants up, and I kneeled by a table and continued my speech until somebody brought me a belt. How did you do that? I spoke for 35 minutes on my knees near a table because I had the will to do it. You got dreams, you want to do something with your life, stuff's gonna happen. It's called Murphy's Law. What do you mean by that? If anything can go wrong, it will. And at the worst possible moment, the doctor looked at me and said, "You've got cancer." I said, "Can you give me a second opinion?" He said, "And you're ugly too." Whatever. Let me tell you something. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Don't underestimate yourself. I want you to keep in mind, what is it you want to do with your life? If you're willing to stand on these 5 words, the will to do it. That's available to you. My favorite book said, "Whosoever will, let him come." You have something special. Your dream is possible. You've got to decide your dream is necessary. My name is Les Brown. I'm Mrs. Mamie Brown's baby boy. You've got something special. You've got greatness in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.